Okay, where am I? I'm right here with Javier. I've got your poster up. Find it very interesting how this project has progressed thanks to the creative. I do too. I think it's great. I think it's fascinating watching these projects progress, and that's why I love teaching. Honestly, Javier, that's my favorite part of teaching is just watching students improve. I love it, and this class is certainly no exception, as we have just watched some really nice developing typographic uh, learning going on, and this certainly is no exception. So, okay, front of the cover, front poster looks good. Looks real good. I think it's fantastic. Love the chains. Love the concept. Nice, good execution right there. Mandela, I think is kerned quite nicely. Nelson, I think, is a little bit tough. Right now, I think I would close down this little bit of tighten that kerning right there between the L and the S, and then between the S and the O, and then probably between the O and the N. But definitely that appears to be really wide. So does that. But and then once you close those down, take a look at the other relationships. You may have to adjust those accordingly. And then of course, once you take that, so the kerning, the problem that you face with kerning is if there's one area that needs to be kerned, you would go ahead and kern that. Like for example, I think that right there. Okay, so that space right there needs to be current, right? So once you tighten that and tighten that, then you take a look at the whole, everything else to see how those spaces, because quite typically in kerning, if you adjust one space, there's going to be other spaces that need to be adjusted as well. Okay, so watch that kerning right there. This is great. Over here, fantastic job hanging the punctuation. That's good stuff. Stuff like that right there, that's going to get noticed in your portfolio, Javier. It really is, because that is professional typesetting right there, hanging that punctuation. Over here, you got to get a space after that comma. Always one space after a comma and a period, so don't forget that. Other than that, I think we're looking pretty good here. Okay, let's jump to the back of the poster. Back of the poster, I think one thing that's working against you is the back of the poster is really difficult to read. There's a lot of text here, a lot. And you've got it set on, I mean, the typographic color, I think it's it's not dark, and one of the reasons it's not dark, I think, is this isn't a black typeface. It looks like it's more gray. Plus, you're using a serif typeface, and that whenever you reverse serif typeface or add color behind it, it's going to make it a much more difficult to read. So, boy, I don't know if I might even consider increasing the type size here just a little bit. This probably is set at, let me see, what is this? This is 8, 11. This is probably set at 12 or 14. If not, well, it's not too bad at all, really. It's just a typographic color a little bit light. Try going pure black on that if that is gray. If it's too much contrast, to change it back. But as far as the type goes, we can do this. I want to zoom in here a little bit to take a look, really close look at your type. Now, you've done a great job with the old style numerals. That's fantastic. So presumably, you've got old style numerals in your open type palette for this typeface, right? So presumably you'll also have small caps. So really want to use small caps here. Here's an instance right here, that ANC, and then ANC again over here, TRC, ANC, ANC. Those are all areas where you want to use small caps. Okay. Other than that, civil rights. Mandel will continue to be a source of information for rights activists worldwide. Okay, you're missing a space right there. Okay, let's jump up to the timeline. Listen, oh gosh, here goes my spinning beach ball. Hope this doesn't last very long. Uh-oh. Okay, hang on one sec. I'm experiencing some technical difficulty. Okay, there we go. Now I'm just going to zoom out here, and I wanted to say this is, Javier. There's always very difficult to say this to students, but the timeline's not working. I'm going to bring out your rulers. I'm wondering why this is white. I can't add my rulers to this because it's a JPEG, but make sure that that's not part of the poster. That white thing right there, that's scaring me a little bit. Yeah, definitely you want to check that. That can't be there. Okay, so as I was saying, the timeline's not working because it's just, there's no contrast to it. I mean, this is a poster, you're not going to see the chain because it's so white, it's not fully opaque. So what I would recommend is taking that chain right there and maybe, assembling it over here somehow. And then instead of your type that's just kind of like, watch my cursor. This is where the eye has to jump. We talk about saccadic jumps in typography, but watch the eye has to go from here down to here, then up to here, then back down here. And that's really uncomfortable for any reader. That's why we have things like alignment, because it's so important. So I would recommend, so you take your chain like that, and then just take just a little line right here, pointing to one area in the chain. Come off the chain, add so the line is going to the chain, and then just add the year and assemble the type horizontally, just in a little box like that. Not a little box, but just a year and then the entry. Then you're going to have another line coming down here, then the year and the entry. Another line here, year and entry. It'll be a lot easier for the viewer to be able to follow that. There still is a little bit of jumping, and it's going to be inherent with any timeline. But right now, if we start here, we read all the way up here, okay? Then we have to jump all the way back down here. Then read all the way up here, then back down here, then up here, then jump all the way back down here. So these jumps right here from the end of the line to the next line are really drastic, and I don't think it's effective. So I would reassemble the timeline accordingly. Other than that, you're looking great. Rags look good. Good adjustment. Everything's looking fantastic. So those are my recommendations. And if you have any questions, please let me know. But in the meantime, sometime this week, preferably sooner than later, I'd like to ask you to take the end of class course survey. It's just, you'll get an email and it's going to give you the details for that. So if you would take that, I would really, really super appreciate it, Javier. It's just a quick survey. It only takes a few minutes, and it lets administration know that you're satisfied, your satisfaction level of the class, as well as my level of proficiency, my style of teaching. And if everything was okay with you, then let them know. If there's something you didn't like about the class, conversely, let them know as well, because then we can plan some changes here and there. All right. Hey, thanks, man. I really enjoyed having you in class. This definitely has not been our first class together, and I certainly hope it's not our last class together. So if you have any questions at all, or if I can clarify anything I've said, please let me know. I'll be glad to do so. All right, good job. Thanks, man.